welcome to the channel. Today we're exploring a common yet often misunderstood behavior, what it might mean if a girl is repeatedly licking her lips or smiling slightly. Let's dive into the psychology, body language, and social cues behind it. Segment 1. Introduction to body language. Body language is a powerful form of nonverbal communication. From posture to gestures, even subtle movements can say a lot about how someone feels. Facial expressions, including smiling and lip movements, are especially important in interpreting emotions and intentions. Understanding body language doesn't mean jumping to conclusions, it means observing patterns and context. For example, a smile can indicate happiness, nervousness, or politeness depending on the situation. Lip movements, like licking, biting, or pursing, may signal attraction, discomfort, or habit. To decode such behavior accurately, we must combine observation with awareness of the environment, conversation, and cultural influences. In this video, we'll break down what it might mean when a girl licks her lips or smiles gently, while staying respectful, evidence-based, and free of stereotypes. Let's learn to read signs more thoughtfully. Segment 2. What does licking lips indicate? Licking lips is a behavior that can have multiple meanings based on context. In some cases, it could be a sign of attraction. Our bodies naturally prepare for communication, and lips are part of that. Increased blood flow, salivation, or dry lips can trigger lip licking. However, it's also common when someone is nervous or uncertain. In psychological studies, lip licking is categorized under self-soothing behaviors, which people use to calm themselves. This could mean a girl is feeling shy, anxious, or excited. It's important not to isolate this gesture from the overall situation. For example, if she's making eye contact, smiling slightly, and laughing at your jokes while licking her lips, it may suggest interest. But if she looks away, folds her arms, or seems distracted, it might be due to anxiety or discomfort. Body language is always about the full picture. Segment 3. The subtle smile, polite or playful. A slight or subtle smile can be one of the trickiest expressions to interpret. It may look like flirtation, but it could just as easily be politeness or a habit. In psychology, the subtle smile is often seen in social situations where people want to appear pleasant or non-threatening. For women especially, society sometimes pressures them to smile to seem approachable. However, if a girl is smiling slightly and showing open body language, like leaning in, maintaining eye contact, or mirroring your actions, it may be more than politeness. A playful or genuine smile tends to involve the eyes, called a Duchenne smile, and is usually paired with relaxed posture. Look for other clues in her tone of voice, engagement in conversation, and proximity. Smiles don't lie, but they can be misread. That's why context, once again, is king. Segment 4. Nervous habits versus romantic signals. It's easy to misread nervous habits as romantic interest, especially when you're hoping for it. Licking lips, fidgeting, playing with hair, or smiling subtly can all be signs of anxiety rather than attraction. Social anxiety or shyness often manifests in repetitive gestures meant to self-soothe. That said, the line between nervousness and attraction can blur. Attraction often makes people feel nervous. So how do you tell the difference? Pay attention to duration, consistency, and escalation. If she repeatedly smiles when you speak, maintains closeness, and shows interest in what you say, those signs could lean romantic. But if she avoids eye contact, crosses her arms, or seems eager to end the conversation, it's likely just nervous behavior. Interpreting body language is about understanding emotional context. Don't rely on one sign alone. Segment 5. The role of eye contact. Eye contact is one of the strongest indicators of interest, romantic, friendly, or respectful. If a girl is licking her lips or smiling slightly while maintaining eye contact, it may suggest confidence or curiosity. Brief glances can be flirtatious, especially if paired with a smile. On the other hand, avoiding eye contact might signal shyness, discomfort, or disinterest. Again, nothing stands alone. Eye contact has to be read with other cues like tone, body position, and conversation flow. If she locks eyes with you, then looks away and smiles or bites her lip, it might indicate she's thinking something pleasant, or is a little flustered. Context is key. Eye contact varies culturally too. What seems flirty in one culture may be neutral in another. So always assess body language in a respectful, situational, and cross-aware manner. Segment 6. Cultural and personality influences. A girl's behavior, including smiling or licking her lips, is shaped by personality and cultural background. In some cultures, smiling is encouraged as a gesture of respect and politeness, even if the person isn't especially happy. In others, it may carry romantic undertones. Likewise, someone extroverted may smile and make expressive gestures freely, while an introvert may do so subtly or rarely. Lip licking could be a nervous tic, a grooming habit, or simply due to dry lips. Judging intent based solely on one or two behaviors can lead to misunderstanding. The better you know a person's general personality and background, the easier it becomes to interpret their nonverbal signals accurately. Context and individual differences matter far more than assumptions. A thoughtful observer recognizes that not every smile is flirtation and not every habit is meaningful. Segment 7. Environmental and situational factors. The environment in which an interaction happens greatly affects body language. If you're in a cold room or windy place, lip licking might be a reaction to dry skin. In a casual setting like a coffee shop, subtle smiles might be simple friendliness. But in more personal spaces or during deep conversations, such signals may have deeper meaning. Also consider distractions. Was she checking her phone, looking around, or focused on you? Did her body language shift as the conversation got more personal? Timing matters too. Did the smile appear after a compliment or funny moment? Analyzing these situational cues gives much needed clarity. Physical comfort, emotional tone, and timing all shape nonverbal cues. Respectful awareness of the surroundings can help you judge intent more accurately and empathetically. Segment 8. Signs of comfort and discomfort. Comfortable people show it through relaxed body language. Open arms, natural eye contact, leaning slightly forward, and unforced smiles. When a girl feels at ease, her gestures align with the flow of the interaction. A soft smile or lip movement might be genuine enjoyment. But discomfort shows in crossed arms, forced smiles, fidgeting, or glancing at exits. If licking lips is constant or paired with tight posture and avoidance, it may suggest stress or a desire to end the conversation. Observing the rhythm and flow of body language reveals emotional cues that words might hide. Comfort enhances connection. Discomfort is a signal to pause or change course. The goal isn't to analyze every move like a lie detector. It's to read the room respectfully and adjust your behavior accordingly. Segment 9. Flirting versus friendly behavior. Sometimes what seems like flirting is simply friendliness. Some people are naturally warm. They smile often, laugh easily, and make eye contact as a way of connecting. Lip gestures may be unconscious. How do you tell the difference? Flirting usually involves a pattern: physical closeness, playfulness, teasing, and effort to extend interaction. Friendly behavior may be polite and kind but doesn't seek more connection. Look at reciprocity. Does she initiate conversation? Does she touch your arm lightly? Does she maintain attention or redirect it quickly? All these give clearer clues than a single smile. Friendly people can smile and lick their lips without romantic intent. The safest and most respectful approach is not to assume. Watch for consistency, openness, and mutual engagement before drawing conclusions. Segment 10. Confidence and flirtation cues. Confident flirtation tends to be clear yet playful. A girl showing confidence might smile subtly, lick her lips occasionally, and hold your gaze, not by accident but with intention. This kind of body language is usually accompanied by direct communication and steady energy. She may lean in, mirror your gestures, or engage with teasing comments. Lip licking in this context may be part of grooming, subconscious signals of attraction where people emphasize their features. But again, one cue is not enough. Confidence is also about how she handles herself when things get personal. Does she stay engaged or retreat? Does she maintain the vibe with follow-up questions or compliments? Flirtation with confidence doesn't feel ambiguous. It feels balanced, playful, and mutual. Learn to recognize it without pushing. Respect keeps communication authentic and positive. Segment 11. When in doubt, communicate. Nonverbal cues are fascinating, but they're also easy to misread. When you're unsure if someone's smiling or lip licking is friendly or flirty, the best tool is respectful communication. You don't have to directly ask, "Are you flirting with me?" But you can say, "I enjoy talking to you. Would you like to hang out sometime?" That invites clarity without pressure. If she's interested, she'll show it with words and actions. If not, you'll save both of you confusion. Body language should open doors to better understanding, not guessing games. People express themselves differently, and assuming too much from one sign can hurt relationships. Learning to balance observation with honest conversation is the most grown-up approach to social dynamics. Let signals guide you, but let words confirm the truth. Segment 12. Facial expressions and micro-expressions. Facial expressions often give away a person's true feelings, even when they're trying to hide them. Micro-expressions, brief, involuntary facial expressions, can flash emotions like surprise, interest, or discomfort for just a fraction of a second. A slight smile paired with raised eyebrows or dilated pupils could hint at attraction or curiosity. Lip licking might happen subconsciously when emotions peak. If she smiles and quickly glances away, she could be shy or modest. These moments pass quickly, so they require careful observation and should never be taken as a definite signal. Remember, people also express themselves differently based on mood, personality, or social conditioning. Reading facial cues is helpful but should always be seen as just one part of the bigger picture. Don't overanalyze a single moment. Look for repetition and connection over time to understand what someone is really feeling beneath the surface. Segment 13. The science behind attraction cues. Attraction triggers physical responses, pupil dilation, changes in voice pitch, blushing, or grooming gestures like hair touching or lip licking. From a biological perspective, when someone finds another person attractive, their body may respond with subtle cues meant to signal interest. Lip licking can be a way to highlight the lips, an important area in romantic and intimate communication. Smiling releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical, which is why it's often associated with attraction. However, these signs aren't always consciously controlled, and they don't always mean the same thing for every person. Some people may exhibit these behaviors due to habit, nerves, or politeness. Understanding attraction cues is about recognizing patterns, not isolated gestures. When signs like frequent eye contact, leaning in, and warm tone of voice accompany lip licking or smiling, it's more likely to mean romantic interest. But again, interpretation should always be done thoughtfully and respectfully. Segment 14. Decoding mixed signals. Mixed signals can be confusing and emotionally draining. One moment someone smiles or makes eye contact, and the next they seem distant or distracted. This inconsistency doesn't always mean they're playing games. It could reflect uncertainty, social anxiety, or internal conflict. A girl might smile and lick her lips during a fun moment, then retreat when feeling vulnerable. Or she may be processing her own feelings and unsure how to express them. Don't immediately assume bad intentions. The best way to navigate mixed signals is to observe patterns over time. Is there a cycle of warmth followed by avoidance? Are you catching random moods? Always weigh nonverbal cues with spoken words. If someone's behavior leaves you guessing constantly, the healthiest approach is to communicate your observations directly and kindly. Clarity can't always be found through body language. It often needs words to bridge the gap. Segment 15. When body language conflicts with words. Sometimes a person's body language says one thing while their words say another. A girl might smile slightly or lick her lips while saying she's not interested, or seem reserved while expressing enjoyment. This mismatch often happens when people are trying to be polite or are unsure how to express their feelings. It's crucial not to ignore verbal communication in favor of body language. If someone sets a boundary or clearly says no, that always overrides any nonverbal cues. Respect their words first. On the flip side, if someone says they're having a great time but shows signs of discomfort, closed posture, forced smile, no eye contact, they may not feel safe being fully honest. The takeaway? Look for alignment. When body language and words match, the message is usually genuine. When they don't, lean on clear communication rather than guesswork. Consent, clarity, and respect are key. Segment 16. Social conditioning and gender norms. In many cultures, women are conditioned to smile even when they don't feel like it. It's often considered polite, professional, or feminine to appear pleasant. That's why a slight smile or subtle body language shouldn't automatically be interpreted as attraction. Similarly, gestures like lip licking might be an unconscious reaction to social pressure, especially in environments where women feel observed or judged. These behaviors can be coping mechanisms or habits rather than romantic cues. Understanding this helps us interpret body language more responsibly. It's essential to separate genuine connection from socially taught behavior. The most respectful thing we can do is avoid assumptions and offer safe, open communication instead of reading too much into any one gesture. Gender expectations play a role in how people behave in public. So stay mindful of how societal influences shape what we perceive as signals. Segment 17. Contextual examples and role-play insights. Let's say you're talking with a girl at a cafe. She licks her lips, smiles, and leans in while asking you questions. These combined gestures may suggest engagement. But now picture her in a professional setting, smiling slightly, licking her lips occasionally, but maintaining formal tone and distance. That's likely just social politeness. Context is everything. In dating situations, open body language and lip gestures might be romantic. In a work or social setting, they They might simply reflect attentiveness or habit. Practicing role play, imagining scenarios and observing how different cues appear, can help you build awareness. But it's never about making assumptions. Instead, use context as a guide to understanding the intention behind the expression. Just because someone acts warmly doesn't mean they're inviting more than a conversation. Always remain respectful, grounded, and attuned to boundaries. Segment 18. Signs of disinterest often overlooked. People often miss or ignore signs of disinterest, especially when hoping for the opposite. Disinterest might be shown through minimal smiles, lack of questions, short responses, glancing away, or subtle avoidance. Lip licking might occur, but it's usually brief and disconnected from the conversation. If a girl avoids closeness, looks distracted, and doesn't reciprocate your energy, it's best to take that as a cue to pull back. Respect is shown by listening not just to words but also to energy. Trying to decode attraction where there is none can feel invasive and uncomfortable for the other person. The key is to notice whether your presence energizes or drains the interaction. If she's disengaged, don't chase signals, give space and move forward. Healthy communication includes accepting non-interest gracefully. Reading body language is not just about figuring out feelings, it's about showing emotional intelligence and boundaries. Segment 19. When it's time to ask directly. If you've noticed repeated gestures, like a girl often licking her lips, smiling at you and making eye contact, you might be wondering if she's interested. Rather than guess endlessly, consider respectfully asking. You don't need to be dramatic, just honest. Say something like, "Hey, I feel like we have a good vibe. Would you like to hang out sometime?" This creates a space for her to express herself without pressure. She agrees, great. If not, you've avoided confusion and respected her boundaries. Nonverbal signals are just that, signals. The only way to know for sure is to communicate. Emotional maturity means being brave enough to ask rather than assume. Body language can point you in the right direction, but directness helps you move forward with confidence, clarity, and mutual respect. The goal isn't to decode everything, it's to build connections based on honesty. Segment 20. Misreading can harm relationships. Misreading body language, especially romantic signals, can lead to awkwardness or damaged relationships. If someone thinks lip licking or smiling means attraction and acts on it without clarity, it might cause discomfort or harm trust. This doesn't mean we should fear every interaction, but we should move thoughtfully. Consent, mutual understanding, and patience are essential in every social or romantic exchange. Instead of focusing solely on signs, focus on conversation, connection, and emotional openness. If both people feel safe and respected, true feelings can surface naturally. Avoid jumping to conclusions based on stereotypes or pick-up advice. Real attraction grows through shared experience, not assumptions. Misreading isn't just a social slip, it can erode trust. Always prioritize respectful curiosity over aggressive pursuit. A small gesture like a smile or lip movement might mean many things, but how you respond to it shows your character. Segment 21. Building real emotional intelligence. Understanding nonverbal cues is part of developing emotional intelligence. It's not about becoming a mind reader, but about becoming a better communicator. Emotional intelligence means recognizing not only how others feel, but also how you respond to those feelings. When you notice a girl smiling slightly or licking her lips, ask yourself, what's the full context? How does she behave with others? What's the emotional tone? These questions help you pause and reflect before acting. The goal isn't to dissect people, it's to relate with empathy. Emotional intelligence also means being aware of your own biases and desires, and not letting them cloud your judgment. With time and practice, you'll become better at reading signals while also respecting that some things can't be known until they're spoken. Confidence, curiosity, and compassion are the best tools in understanding attraction, and in building meaningful relationships. Segment 22. Key takeaways and final advice. Let's recap the key points. Lip licking and slight smiles can mean many things. Attraction, nerves, politeness, habit, or even dryness. The only way to accurately understand them is to observe them in context. Consider personality, culture, setting, and conversation flow. Never jump to conclusions based on one gesture. Always look for patterns and consistency. The most powerful tool you have is respectful communication. Ask questions. Express interest with honesty. And most importantly, listen. Whether it's a romantic connection or just a friendly interaction, emotional intelligence will guide you better than any secret signal decoder. Be thoughtful, be kind, and respect every person as an individual with unique ways of expressing themselves. Body language is fascinating, but clarity comes from conversation. Conclusion. In the end, interpreting gestures like lip licking or a soft smile isn't about becoming a body language expert. It's about building awareness, empathy, and respectful communication. While these behaviors can suggest interest or emotion, they're never proof of someone's feelings. The only reliable path to clarity is conversation. When you treat others with respect, stay grounded in the moment, and ask instead of assuming, you build stronger, healthier connections. Let body language guide curiosity, but let words build truth. Emotional maturity means knowing when to observe and when to speak. And that's what creates real understanding between people. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful videos on human behavior and relationships. Share your thoughts below, and remember, communication is the key to every connection. See you next time.